Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a different kind of video. I'm going to be talking about something that's pretty important to me and something that, I think, I have younger audience members and I think it's an important message for them to hear, right? And the message is basically that you just need to let go. I feel like so many people in this world, especially nowadays, are so stressed about what others think of them and how they're performing and all this extra stuff, and obviously a lot of that is real. You can't be living a completely stress-free life, but don't be so hard on yourself. Nobody's perfect. I just want to say that outright before I even get into any examples or anecdotes from my life. Nobody's perfect. You're never gonna be a great musician or artist or athlete or whatever in a day. You need to work towards it, and it's gonna take a lot of time, and you're gonna make a lot of mistakes along the way. And the reason I'm saying all this and just why I guess I chose to do this video right now is because I've kind of realized over the last like 2, 3, 4 days that a lot of my self-worth is based, as silly as it may sound, it's based on how well I'm playing in Rocket League. Obviously this is a big part of my life and I play this game very competitively. I'm about a top 100 player in North America, so you could say that I'm decent, right? And after so many years of playing and so many hours, I just have so much pressure put on myself to play like nothing but the best. Most recently I noticed it when I was playing Rocket League, and after I'd maybe played for about an hour or so, I noticed my arms were sore. I was so stressed out about how I was playing the game and how I was performing in the game that I was genuinely grabbing my controller so hard that it made my forearms sore. Now this kind of stress is obviously not really healthy. I mean, hey, did it help me play better? Maybe, probably not, but it's kind of something where I've realized that I've been way too hard on myself, and I do have to recognize some of the positive things that I've done for myself, and you guys do too. I mean, making a YouTube channel that has over 100,000 subs and posting shorts every single day for hopefully thousands of people to be entertained by, it's not anything that's easy, and it's something that I haven't really given myself any credit for. I mean, I have the award right next to me. I can see it right there, the silver play button, and sometimes it still doesn't really feel like I deserve it. And I guess the reason I'm bringing all this up is not to say woe is me and pity me. I don't want you guys to do that. I want you guys to know that mental health is something that you should really be taking seriously. Even people you might look up to and people who you might say, wow, that guy has it all. He's got everything going for him. If I had what he has, I'd be happy. That is the biggest lie that people ever tell themselves. Everybody's going through their own problems, and while you might not be able to see it, nobody's 100% content with the way things are. I feel like that's just human nature. And so the reason I was saying let go is a lot of stress in people's lives comes from external things and what people feel about them and how they perceive other people to think about them, right? I know for me, when I'm playing the game bad, I feel like other people think that I'm playing the game bad. And because they think that I'm playing the game bad, well, then that's bad for me, right? And why does it matter? I've come to the realization that win, lose, it doesn't really, truly, at the end of the day, matter. None of these people who are thinking that I'm bad are going to be in real life or doing anything like that with me. So why would I put stock into what they think about me? And it's much easier said than done. You're not going to be able to hear this video and then immediately stop caring what other people think about you. And to a certain degree, a little bit of, wanting people to think nicely of you is a good thing. I think if that pressures you to become a better person and perhaps become more charitable and generous and just hear other people's perspectives and just be kinder, I think that's a good thing. However, if you can't please everybody. I've learned that as a content creator, especially whenever I'm making videos or something, there's always going to be 1 or 2 people that don't like it. There's always going to be 1 or 2 people that say, hey, the music's too loud. But you know what, if I can help even one person, if even one person watches this video and they say, you know, I'd never really thought about that. I'm glad to know that Coconut has these issues too, and he has these feelings of self-doubt, then my mission will have been accomplished. You know, I'm not here trying to fix the world, and I know that at only 20 years old, I still have a lot of life left to live, but one of the other things I realized, and one of the lessons that I can give people, and I've made videos on this before, is that social media has probably done more irreversible damage to my brain than I would like to think about. You know, in high school, I remember checking Instagram every day to see who posted what, who went out where, and you know, these cool places and the restaurants that people were going to, and the dresses that people were wearing, and I was like, oh my god, wow, they're going out to party, they look really nice, I wish I could do that. And why am I not out at parties? Why am I not, you know, having fun with people? And you know, I had my fair share, but for some reason Instagram made it feel like it was never enough. Somebody else was always doing something better than you. And especially with things like bodybuilding, you know, when I started to get into bodybuilding and I started looking on Instagram, I would literally be comparing myself to these Mr. Olympia competitors whose lifelong goal it was to be a professional bodybuilder. They are top 1% of 1% as far as bodybuilders go. They are on extreme amounts of extracurriculars, as we call them in a polite sense. You know, and I would compare myself to these people, and I think for, you know, as far as my own physique right now, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. I think I look pretty decent, but when I compare myself to these guys, I'm like, wow, I look like I've never touched a weight in my life, which is obviously just completely untrue and not at all a healthy comparison to make. And now another thing I wanted to talk about is that you shouldn't be afraid to try, ever. Now, there are some things where you might not want to try, you might not want to do it, and if you don't want to do it and you don't want whatever the end result is, then sure, you don't have to. Nobody's going to force you to do something you're not comfortable with, or something that you won't enjoy. But if you're not doing something, if you want an end result, but you don't want to take the steps to get there, because you're afraid of failure. Being afraid of failure is something that I've experienced in my life, and I've gone through it all too much, trust me. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of inadequacy, you know, and that's, again, it's something that it's going to take you a long time to get used to, but everybody fails. Nobody gets it right the first time. I can guarantee you that. Nobody goes out with the first girl that they ask. Nobody is perfect on the first try. And when you expect yourself to be perfect on the first try, it just ultimately leads you to disappointment. You know, you shouldn't be afraid to ask out that girl you're talking to. You shouldn't be afraid to, you know, take a risk, start a business, upload a YouTube video, upload a TikTok, right? It's all things that, well, yeah, the first one might not be too good. The first time you ask a girl out, it might go horribly. You might stutter on your words, and she might say no, but you know what? The next time you're going to be just a little bit better. And then the next time after that, you're going to be just a little bit better. And then the next time after that, hell, maybe she'll actually say yes to you, or whoever you ask, you know, if it's not the same girl. Now, it's obviously, again, like I said, easier said than done, but these are just things that I've learned in my 20 years. You know, if you spend your entire life afraid of the failure and afraid of the rejection, well, you'll never know what could have happened. You know, there's some situations where you might think, oh, well, what if they think that I'm weird? Or it doesn't matter. It genuinely does not matter. What other people think about you, if they think that you're weird and they want to talk crap about you behind their back, well, they're probably not really good people anyways. You know, if you're afraid of asking a girl out because you're afraid of what she's going to say to her friends, well, then every single friend in that friend group is just a bad, I would say objectively, a bad person. If they're going to make fun of you for trying, if anybody ever makes fun of you for trying something, just know that they're being ridiculous. I mean, I had people that made fun of me when I made my first TikTok about 2.5 years ago, right? They said, dude, why are you making that? You're like Grand Champ 1. Nobody's going to watch you, right? And look at where I am today. Now, I'm not some sort of hyper successful multi-millionaire YouTuber. However, I would say I'm in a pretty decent spot right now. And that never would have happened if I had listened to the first few people who would watch my videos. And, you know, I just want you guys to know that throughout every single obstacle you face in life, there's always going to be people who won't understand you. They might say, well, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? You're obviously not going to succeed. Why are you even trying? There's no point. You should just give up now, save your energy. And all of that is just noise. People are always going to doubt you. There's not going to be a single time in your life where you do something and every single person who hears about it is going to say, oh, wow, that's amazing. We should support him. Now, if you surround yourself with very good people, maybe that'll happen. But you have to find those people, and that can be another whole process. If you're talking with people and you're friends with people who don't support you and your aspirations, I mean, it's just not good friends to have. I mean, sometimes your friends will be able to give you a little reality check. If you say, hey, I'm gonna jump off of this cliff and hope that I like grow wings on the way down, well, your friends will tell you, hey, listen, you can't do that. However, if you tell your friends, hey, I think I want to start a YouTube channel, and they're not immediately supportive of you and they just make fun of you, if you say that it's my dream to make a YouTube channel and make videos and make content and make other people happy, and you have people in your life that tell you that you can't do that, well, then those people aren't really supporting you. Don't get me wrong, there are things that you physically cannot do. However, doing things like making a business, doing things like, you know, following your dreams, and, you know, if you want to be like an athlete, if you're training, you know, 7 days a week, you'll become an athlete. You know, it's... Oh my god, almost missed that. If you're playing Rocket League and you want to become a professional Rocket League player, you know, and you're free playing for hours and hours a day, and you're playing a bunch of rank 2s and you're getting to a really high level, and then you're like, hey, you know, I think I could take this seriously, and your friends are like, no. Then screw them. Prove them wrong, you know? I had people that would doubt me when I was, you know, doing my first bodybuilding competition. They were like, well, dude, you're 17. You can't possibly do a bodybuilding competition. And you know what I did, right? Like, there's no point in listening to people who are closed-minded and don't think that you can achieve all that you can. Now, the point of all this is basically just to say that you have one life, right? And you're only going to get one, unless you believe in reincarnation or you believe in heaven and all that kind of stuff. But personally, I only believe that you get one, and I like to think that makes me live my life to the fullest. Oh man, that was bad. I thought I had a lot more space there. You know, when I decide to do or not to do something, I think about, well, you know what, why not, right? Why wouldn't I do this? Why wouldn't I take a chance at, you know, having something good and risk a little bit of failure? Is that in? Brutal. You know, if you give me 10 shots and you say, listen, if you make one of these 10 shots, you'll win $100. But if you miss any of them, you'll get a little shock, a little like ankle dog collar or something, right? It'll shock you, and you're gonna experience a little bit of pain and discomfort, but you're gonna have another chance. Dude, we suck. You're gonna have another chance, and you're gonna get to keep shooting. I would keep shooting. I would shoot all 10. No matter if I missed the first 9, I would still shoot the 10th. Because the temporary pain and maybe hurt that you feel from a rejection or from a failure or something not going your way, it's just that. It's temporary, right? It's not going to last forever. It might feel like it at the time, you know, if you get into like a bad breakup, if the girl you're interested in, you know, rejects you and says that, oh, I'm sorry, we're just friends. You know, that's going to hurt for a little while, but it's not going to last forever. Nice. I probably should have just shot that, but... And, you know, for example, I had and also, this is probably my last point. You should never let somebody else dictate how you feel about yourself, right? Oh, how do you get demoed? Tough. But I have a friend, and this friend, you know, I was talking to him, and he said, well, I feel really insecure about my looks because my last girlfriend broke up with me based off of my appearance. And I looked at this dude and I said, are you kidding me? Like, you are genuinely, and this is, you know, in an all bro love kind of way, you are one of the most handsome dudes I have ever seen. Like, you could go back in time and be a Greek god, you know? And this guy had put so much stock in how this one person felt about them that he no longer felt as though he was even good enough to be seen. You know, his self-confidence was absolutely destroyed. And I just think that's a shame. You can't put stock in how others feel about you. I know a lot of guys from my high school era who they were serial, they would just date anybody. They would have to constantly be in relationships, otherwise they would just be extremely upset. And I don't think that's a terrible thing. However, I think learning how to be happy on your own and how to make yourself happy and learning how to be with yourself rather than having to constantly rely on somebody else for affirmation and you know, love. I think that's one of the best things you can ever do for yourself. You know, taking yourself out to go to places to eat, taking yourself out, like if you like to go like rock climbing or something, and normally that's a social thing, why not just try doing it yourself? You might find that you enjoy doing it alone. And you know, if you like hiking or something and you're one of those people who's like, oh man, you know, hiking's just so weird to go out on alone, like I would hate to do that. Why? You know, why are you like, I know some people who won't go to the movies alone because they feel like it's weird. But who cares? Who cares if it's weird or not normal? Like, you're not harming anybody else, and you're not gonna, you know, you're not harming anybody else. And if it's something you want to do it. It shouldn't matter whether or not it's socially normal. All right, that's just my whole point. We're probably gonna forfeit here in a second, but I see so many people limiting themselves based on what other people deem appropriate, and I'm sorry for the long rant. I know it's just a Rocket League channel, but I really feel like I have some younger, maybe high school or middle school aged audience members that I think could really benefit from hearing this. Oh, we might not forfeit. We might be able to come back here. It's a good pass. But I just hope this finds the right people. Especially as men, because I feel like a lot of men have absolutely nobody to talk to, especially if you're not in a relationship. Because men that are vulnerable don't stay in relationships for long, typically. For some reason, men just tend to just close themselves up. And if you have emotions and you expose them as a man, it's just typically not good for your image. Now, you can say that society will not, you know, actually care nowadays, and that's kind of the shift that it's going towards, but truth is, no matter what, if you're a guy and you're vulnerable, it's kind of seen as a weakness. Now, like I said, with the rest of this, you shouldn't really care about that. However, I am saying that is a thing that happens. It is proven scientifically. So as men, you can pretty much only be vulnerable to other men, and I'm hoping that maybe this video is an outlet so some guys can either see it or comment and just talk about it. And maybe this video is just enough. You don't even have to talk about it. Maybe this is enough for you, and hopefully just knowing that you're not alone you're not alone in your struggles, and you're not alone in your feelings of inadequacy, and you know, feeling not well on your own is extremely common nowadays. Everything I've discussed in this video, you know, feeling pressures from social media, feeling like you can't be happy alone, feeling like you can't talk to anybody, all of this stuff is extremely common, and for some reason every single man feels the same way, that they're absolutely alone, and I promise you that you're not. So that's kind of the rant over. I know it's maybe a little bit of a sad video, but maybe a little bit of a hopeful video. I mean, I'm not really sure why I decided to do this, but I hope you all enjoyed the video. And if you did, make sure to subscribe. We'll see you all next time. Peace.